All right, hello. This is going to be lesson 63, which is on page 280 in your book. And today we're going to talk about converting fractions to decimals. Now, the reason that we talk about this is because decimals are much easier to add and subtract than fractions are. So a lot of times, instead of finding a common denominator to add fractions or whatnot, you will just convert them to a decimal, and that makes them a lot easier to work with. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so that you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so let's say we wanted to add 1/2 and 3/5. Okay. So one way to do it would be to change your denominators um, to a multiple of 10 because that would give you a decimal number. So luckily, these are pretty easy. A 2 can be turned to a 10 by multiplying by 5. So I'm going to multiply the top by 5 as well. And this one can be turned into a 10 by multiplying by 2. So once we do that, we're going to have 5/10 plus 6/10. And if we wanted to write this in decimal form, you should know that the first place after your decimal is the tenths place. So 5/10 would be written as 0.5, and 6/10 would be written as 0.6. And when you add these, you get 1.1, or 1 1/10. Sorry for the terrible handwriting. But sometimes you don't have really nice numbers in your denominators that can turn into a 10 or 100 or 1,000, or it might just take too long. So let's look at this example. 1/4 plus 5/8. If you wanted to add these two numbers, our closest multiple of 10 that 4 can turn into is 100. Our closest number that's a multiple of 10 that 8 can turn into is 1,000. That doesn't sound like something that we want to do. Okay, so we are going to turn each of these fractions into a decimal. Okay, so what you're going to do when you turn a fraction to a decimal is just divide the top by the bottom using long division. Okay, so the number on the bottom is always going to go outside your bracket, and the number on the top will always go inside your bracket. Okay, let's write a little note there. So the top number goes inside, and the bottom number, sorry, I'm trying to make it neat for you. The bottom number goes outside. Okay. All right. So let's set this up. So 1 is going on the inside and 4 is going on the outside. I know this does not look like it makes sense yet, right? 4 into 1. But do you remember the trick we learned yesterday where you add a decimal and zeros, right? We'll start with 1. Go ahead and put your decimal on the top as well so you don't lose where your decimal should be in your answer, because that can change your answer and make it wrong. Okay, so now we're seeing how many times 4 goes into 10. Well, we know it goes twice. Make sure this 2 is above the 0 in your 10. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract. Get a 2. So we need to add another 0 and bring it down. 4 into 20 goes 5 times evenly. So 1/4 in decimal form can be written as 0.25. Pretty cool. Let's do this one. So again, the top number is the inside, the bottom number is the outside. So 8 into 5. Sorry. All right, we need to add a decimal and a 0. Bring your decimal up to the top. I am so sorry if you can hear all that going on in my living room. Okay. 8 goes into 50 6 times. 8 times 6 is 48. We're going to subtract. You get 2. We need a 0 because our remainder is not 0 yet, so bring it down. 8 goes into 20 twice. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, you get 4. We need another 0 because we don't have a remainder of 0 yet. Bring it down. 8 goes into 40 evenly 5 times. Subtract. So if you would want to write 5/8 as a decimal, 0.625. All right, and then if you wanted to add those numbers, you would just add those up together, and we'll talk about that another day, I'm pretty sure. So that is how you turn a fraction into a decimal. And if you have any questions about that or any other lesson, feel free to reach out to me. And I hope to see you all on Monday. I miss you guys very much.